Good morning. My name's Laura Hartman. I'm a senior at Central Michigan University. I'm also here with fellow seniors Scott Ozog and Aaron Mayhew, and we will be giving you the October 18th, 2011 weather briefing. I believe it's the 19th though. Our fault. I'm going to start off with like a nice national overview. So we figured water vapor would be the best way to see this. This is from 11Z this morning. And notice all that dry air to the south of us reaching up into Alabama, Georgia, and that's locating the jet up there. We've also got a lot of moisture, and that's where that low pressure system is located, just over Tennessee and Kentucky, and lots of convection also in Miami area over by Florida. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as that low does develop. You'll see a lot more moisture, maybe a comma head start to develop. So watch out for that over the next couple of days, especially with those travel plans, because you could be running into a lot of rain. HPC surface analysis, this is the 9Z from this morning. And that low pressure system, again, located over East Kentucky, Tennessee area. Also with that cold front, that's now in Georgia, but that was giving us a lot of that rain, potentially heavy rain that we saw yesterday. Got a lot of heavy downpours and brief heavy downpours as well, but only getting 0.17 inches out of that at the airport, but I think we might have gotten more here in Birmingham. And as that moves off to the northeast, again, that could be giving us a lot of rain showers for those of us traveling this next coming days. But if you're heading off to the west, we've got a lot of high pressure, so it looks like your travels will be relatively smooth going. Now as that low does move up, it'll start to develop and we'll start to see it occlude. We'll also start to see that move up and start to get that warm airflow, going. So we do have a risk out for us today, not for us particularly, but out in North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland area. So this is because that low pressure system is developing, and as that does develop, we'll start to see some severe weather pop up. Mostly the threat is from the winds. We're not seeing a lot of threat from tornadoes or hail, but it's not out of the possibility, so watch out for potentially heavy winds today. I also have the 2-meter temperature gradient from the NAM model. These are forecasted temperatures from the 0Z model last night. So this is forecasted for 12Z today, so right about 7 a.m. this morning. And what a cold night it was for Birmingham, dipping down into the mid-40s, even lower 40s in some areas. It's quite a chilly night. You probably haven't seen one like that in quite a while, so definitely want the coats out as you go out today. Moving on into 10 a.m. this morning, still rather chilly outside. Even by 1 p.m. this afternoon, reaching maybe the 50s, and by 4 p.m. this afternoon, start to see some of those high temperatures top out, not even in the 60s today, sticking right around the mid to even upper 50s, but it's going to be a cold one, so make sure that you have your jacket outside if you happen to go outside. Now I'm going to turn it over to Scott, and he'll continue the presentation.
Hello. We're moving on to the 850 temp field with 6-hour QPF and also the mean sea level pressure on it. So we can really see the evolution of this system. That blue line there is the 0-degree isotherm we see at 850 millibars. And this was last night at 7 p.m. So we can see that dig into the southeast as that system really starts to develop, and that reflection of the cold conveyor belt bringing that cold air into northern Alabama. As that system develops, those two surface lows are going to merge with one another, really bringing all that moisture into the New England states and also into the Great Lakes. You really can see that 0-degree isotherm start to move to the equatorward side of the low, really bringing that cold air and a good reflection of that cold conveyor belt there as it moves to even to the eastern side of the low. Good strong system. And then by 7 p.m. tomorrow, the system really starts to dissipate. That 0-degree isotherm is now kind of broken, and also the pattern of the rain is a little bit more spattered there, mostly primarily over the Great Lakes region now, and also the northeast is a little more broken. Looking at 700 millibars, we really can kind of see the transport of the moisture into this system. This is currently right now about 7 a.m. There, just over northern Alabama, we just don't have too much moisture, just barely clipping northern Alabama. That's why we just had a few sprinkles this morning. No really good amount of rain. And as the system develops, you really see that warm conveyor belt transfer that moisture there to the western side of the low, bringing all that rain and moisture into the Great Lakes and northeast. And here you kind of start to see a good splitting of the warm conveyor belt, transferring that moisture to the eastern of the New England region, also to the west for the Great Lakes region. And then as the low starts to dissipate, the pattern kind of starts to become broken. Then look at the 500 millibar just for the upper level support. This is going to be 7 p.m. today. Good differential vorticity advection, really creating some good rising motion for this system as it becomes more developed over the next few days, and then becoming vertically stacked by 7 p.m. tomorrow, which is why we're going to see it start to dissipate. And then for the 500 millibar anomalies, really just kind of showing how strong this trough is, bringing that really anomalously cold temperatures right now, about 180 to 240 geopotential meters in negative anomalies. Then we see that good ridge to our west is going to bring the colder weather later on in early next week, for the warmer temperatures will be coming back to this area and also the rest of the eastern United States. And I'll be moving it on to Aaron.
All right, thank you, Scott. My allergies decided to visit, so I apologize for my voice this morning. Taking our first look at the jet, this is 7 a.m. off the NAM model here. We can see this highly amplified meridional flow in the jet, really letting that cold air from Canada come all the way down into northern Louisiana, which we kind of saw indicated in those 2-meter temperatures. And as we move this along in 12-hour increments here, we'll see this jet lining up over the east coast, where we see the warm sector, as well as that strong low pressure system that was off the coast of Florida, kind of funneling some moisture in there into the coast, kind of enhancing the shear over that warm sector area, increasing that warning from the SPC there, and that kind of follows the low pressure system up through the coast there. Looking at the National Composite Radar, this was 1148Z. We can see that rain up in the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region, and even into the northeast as that low pressure system continues to progress up. And even down in southern Florida, they're getting some pretty strong convection there. So for today, what we're expecting to see in Birmingham, highs in the mid to upper 50s as that cold front that passed through last night. We're going to get a nice short blast of cold air, but as that high pressure from the west moves in, we're going to start seeing some clearer skies, a little more radiative heating, so temperatures start to pick back up a little bit. Scott mentioned earlier, we are at the base of that 500 millibar trough, so we could see some breezy winds today, about 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the west. Tomorrow, for the trip to the airport, like I said, it's going to be clear skies, highs around 60. As that 500 millibar low kind of lifts off to the northeast, we will see our winds die down a little bit, looking at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but those clear skies are also going to make for a cold night. For your Thursday travel, for those going home to the East Coast, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley, you can expect to see some wet travel. If you're going west, you've got high pressure and nice clear traveling. And that is it for our weather briefing. Thank you.